Welcome to Lava. Here you can see we can do loading right inside the program automatically. The code is selected here with the load combinations generated automatically for you. And we can go to the building definitions and there's a load assembly tab. Here we have some preset loads based on, if you scroll down here, you'll see different areas of the country that you can select. And in that selection, you get to choose the roof loading. I'm going to choose here, so we have a variety of different types of loading on the roof. And below that, once you select that roof, you'll see the roof loading is compiled of several different types of load. And I see here I've got insulation and different kinds of a loading here, and it gets compiled at the very bottom as total dead load and total live load. All of that is preset for you. I can apply some floor loading, I can apply some exterior wall assemblies, interior wall assemblies, and then lastly, we have some equipment or other types of miscellaneous loads that can be applied. And this would all automatically be applied to that roof level. So we can see here we have different elevations in the structure, and it's preset here. Currently I'm looking at a higher building here. We've got several elevations. So see here from 1, 2, 3, 4 and roof, and the definition of those elevations are defined right here. We can go in and put in more loading in that building for each level that we're talking about for the seismic weight of the walls. You can apply it by linear load. You can also go ahead and add additional loads for those walls for the seismic. There's a schedule of preset materials that you can choose from. So we have timber and lumber all inside of the program, giving a variety of different materials, as well as some prefabbed. We've got some glue laminated, we've got some laminated strand, LVL, so we've got all sorts of different types of manufactured wood, as well as we've got also a list of hot rolled steel and then shear walls, and you find the hold downs as well at the very bottom here. And there's a library of different kinds of shear walls that you may be wanting to use. All that can be designed inside of here. If we jump to the design procedures, you have the flexibility to add either a flexible, a rigid, or an envelope of a flexible and rigid diaphragm. We're going to choose the flexible here. You'll jump to the seismic tab. The program will automatically apply the lateral loads for you. You just determine what kind of seismic loads you're going to be using. And that front screen here, it will see here in the, down here, you've got seismic. You can tell the program specifically the site classifications. Once you've got all of that dialed in and you go back to your design procedure, you'll see you have seismic, and it gives you the information right here automatically calculated for you. You can also do the similar thing for wind. So the wind is determined here on the project specifications, and you'll get your wind pressure automatically calculated for you. Going over to the building layout, we can see here that this is a complex building, and we're currently seeing our diaphragm layout. So if I click on a diaphragm here, this diaphragm is showing me, and this is my roof level, and the diaphragm is showing in the Y direction. So this is the diaphragm here. If I double click on a diaphragm, this is going to be giving me the information on this diaphragm and the load distribution of it. So I've got loads automatically applied. No need to go and apply those loads into this. It's going to do it for you automatically. I'm going to click on as well into this. So here we also see in the other direction here, I'm going into the Y direction. I'm going to turn this into the X direction, and we'll see that we are now showing diaphragms going in the other direction. So I click on them. We define them separately for each direction. So it allows you to apply those loads in each X and Y depending on the direction of the diaphragm. We also can see here, I'm going to turn off the diaphragms for a second, and I'm going to show my plates. So my plates here, if we zoom in, you'll see that this is going to do the gravity loads for us. So the plate definition here, if I click on that, it gives us information on how the plates are defined. The loads are also determined directly, and this is for your gravity loading. So you'll get your gravity loading on that plate in the vertical direction, and you'll have snow if applied, and then you'll see the total loads applied to this plate based on dead load, for example. So there's about this much is going to that side of the structure. If we go to the other side, that much is going down to the other side of that plate, and you can kind of see all the pieces of how this load gets applied directly for that plate. So loads are automatically tracked down the structure, carried from plates for the gravity and diaphragms for the lateral into the beams or shear walls as determined needed into the structure. The other piece is your shear walls. So your shear walls are going to be calculated automatically for you, and I'm going to double click a shear wall, and the sizing is determined for you, tells you that the wall has passed and that calculation has been done for you on that shear wall, carrying the forces from the lateral loads right in there, as well as calculating the hold down that will be required for it. So you'll see hold downs, and then the posts in that shear wall will also be checked for you. Lastly, we'll go into analyze the entire structure. The loads are calculated, the forces are transferred, and we are getting to a final stage of design. We can then go to our report section and we can generate the report. This comprehensive report will give you everything you need in one package. So here we can see a table of contents, which gives us a list of all the information we have. We have an easy to navigate tree on the left to help us pick those calculations we wanted. And I'm just going to start flipping through to show you some of the paths here. You can see the layouts automatically. It gives you all the layouts for what you had. Zooms in properly to the size you might need. And then I'm going to keep going to our first calculation, which is the seismic calculation. This gives you all the forces for the building and distributions on each level. I'm going to go to the wind calculations, and you can see here you've got the graphics and showing the forces on each level. And then as you keep going, you can see here it's going to break down the lateral design for us. So we'll have the shear lines, and it gives us information on the calculations of that shear line, and then how the forces get distributed inside of those, including the collector force analysis. As we keep going, we can keep going all the way, and we're going to keep moving towards all of the calculations. And we can easily navigate by just typing into the top some of the different pages we might need to get to. So we can jump to shear walls and find a list of the shear walls, and as we keep going down the shear walls, we'll see each shear wall is then calculated. Calculating the forces on that shear wall, it tells us what's happening in the shear wall with a shear check, uplift, and post check, and then it is going to give us that hold down and deflection, which is going to be the bigger piece for each shear wall. This package is ready to print and submit for your building official. Thanks for watching Lava Live.